Hello everybody, and welcome to the 5th video in my Megaminx beginner's method tutorial. This video will be going over specifically the last two faces of S2L. Or really, if you want to look at it, if you count these two, that's what I mean. That's what I refer to as two faces. But really, you're just solving one face, and then the rest of your S2L is complete. So this is going to be a little more complex, and you're going to need a little bit of an understanding of how the colors go together. But in reality, it's quite simple. So we're applying all the knowledge that we've learned through F2L and S2L, and we're just changing up a couple things. So now, instead of having a new star on bottom, you're just going to have your old star on bottom. So I started with green, so star is on bottom. So now the face that I'm going to be working with, or that I'm going to try and solve, is going to be the F face, or I could use it as the R face, the L face, etc. And that's how I'm going to hold this. So I'm going to try and solve this piece right here, this edge. You could also solve it on this side, but if you do use this side, mirror everything I say after that. So if I say solve the right side, you solve the left side. But I think it's easiest if you just follow what I say. So just go ahead and look for this piece. So it's going to be pink and red, and I see it's right here. So it could be in two places, on this face or on the top layer. So I'm going to show you how to solve it for the front face. If it's anywhere on the front face and it's like checkerboard, all you have to do is solve it just like a normal star piece. So you bring it up to the top layer. You want to see if this piece is aligned. If it's aligned with pink, then all you have to do is slide it down. Alright, so if it's checkerboard, what you have to do is you have to move it to the left or move it to the right and solve it just like any other star piece that I've taught you so far. So what you're going to do is, in this case, I'm going to go ahead and move it to the right and move it down. What it does is it brings this to alignment, but it also brings this out of place. So what you do, just like any other star piece, after you bring it down, turn the face to inwards and then bring this back. So it's basically solving the piece, except you're one move off, but you can just solve it like so by moving it one more time, and all of that is aligned. So one more time. So you'll see if I'm trying to solve from the right side, going down here, it's actually farther. So if I solve from the right, I can do this. Instead of turning it one time, I'm going to turn it twice. So really quickly, that's how it looks, and I solve it. If you solve it from the left side, all you have to do is go to the left, bring it down, and only turn it once because it has a shorter path. One more time. Okay, so that was when the piece was like somewhere on this face. If it's anywhere on this face and it's not already solved or not already aligned, then just bring it to the top and do one of those two moves. If it is already aligned, like it's somewhere here or it's here, and it's already aligned with pink, all you have to do is connect it to the red, or whichever color scheme that you're using. You don't have to follow my color scheme exactly. It's more so finding this exact piece placement. You want this piece solved. Now the other place this piece could be is somewhere on the top layer. So if it's on the top layer, you essentially do the same thing. You just turn the layer until it's on this side. So if it's on this side, you're already good to go. If it's on the top layer, just turn it until it's on this side, and then you should be fine. Okay, so after that piece is solved, here comes the tricky part. If you pay attention to what you need to solve next, you need to solve this corner, and this corner, and this edge, and this edge. So if we follow the normal pattern, and we use the new F2L face, or new star face, so let's say, for example, red is on bottom. You have to solve this corner, The problem is solving this side is very difficult because this top part is solved and it's directly in your way. And there's no way to solve this normally without disturbing this. So that is out the door and we can't solve it like that. So the best way to do it, in my opinion, is once you have this piece solved, always this specific piece. Unless you're doing this side and then everything I say is in reverse, just like I said earlier. So if you're solving this exact piece, move it one move to the right, and now it's here. The reason why is because we're going to solve these pieces. But in order to solve these, we have to be able to access these pieces. And the best way to access them is to simply follow my fingers as I turn, move to the right. Now the pieces are here and much closer to the free top layer. Okay, so now I'm going to look for this corner. This corner is going to be red, cream, and pink. I'm going to look for this corner and I see it's right here. So technically the correct solve position is here. But because we're trying to solve it together with this edge piece, the relative solve position is here. So for this corner, we want to solve it here. And if we want to solve it here, we have to make sure the corner is up here. So the corner is already up here. So I'm just going to solve it like so. R, U, R prime, U prime. And then you see it's solved. So now I'm going to solve the edge that corresponds to this corner right here. Technically, the solved position is right here. And that's going to be pink and cream. But since we misaligned this entire face that direction, we're actually going to solve it into here. So before I move on, I just want to show you, when we put this face back in the solved state, you'll see the piece is now solved. And if we do the same thing for this edge, we solve it here. After we solve it, when we bring it down, it should all be solved. And then everything else is very easy. So I'm going to look for pink and cream. I see pink and cream is right here. So just like I did before, I'm going to go ahead and bring it to either, if I want to solve it down here, I'm going to bring it either here or here. Here's where it gets a little tricky since it's a little harder to recognize the colors. Instead of looking whether or not this color is supposed to go right or it's supposed to go left, or if it's supposed to be checkered or if it's supposed to be matching, simply look at one thing. You want this front color to match the associated front color of the corner. So these are not matching. Pink here and cream here. In that case, I'm going to try this side. You'll see that cream and cream. If these are matching, that means this has to go left. All right? If you just move this just like so, you'll see how it matches up correctly. Sorry about the glare. So I'm going to execute the edge algorithm that I've already taught you guys. This time it's going left, so I'm going to use the lefty version. So after it's here, U prime, L prime, U, L, U, F, U prime, and F prime. Now, after we turn it back, you'll see that this entire complex here is solved in relation to each other. Now, all we have to do is simply turn it one turn back to where it belongs. And you'll see that this little slot right here, the difficulty access slot, is solved. Now, all we have left are this corner, this edge, and this corner, and this edge. And from here, it should be fairly simple. There's no tricks, no gimmicks, just like any other 3x3. So instead of showing you that, I'm just going to show you a couple of interesting cases that you may encounter here. So, say for example, when you solve this edge and you begin your misalignment. When you misalign it one turn to the right or another turns, you do an F prime, you're going to see that the corner you need is actually in here. All you have to do to get this corner up here is to hold it on your right hand side and then execute the corner algorithm one time, just like in the F2L exceptions situation where you have a corner in place. You just execute the algorithm one time and it's out. Now, all you have to do is bring it over and then solve it like so, and you have no problem. Okay, so there are other situations where it's deeper inside. Say, for example, when you misalign it, your corner is way down here. Now, this is a little trickier, but the concept is fairly simple, and if you've gotten this far in Megaminx, I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. When it's all the way down here, all you have to do is turn an F2. And then you'll see the edges here and the corners here. And then all you have to do is turn this away. So make sure you turn this top layer to where this corner is no longer touching this layer. So you could either turn U2 prime, so it's back here, or U to where it's here. If you only turn U prime once, it's still connected to this layer and you won't be able to get it out of the way. So I like to do U2 just so it's all the way back here. And now I bring this back over here where I want to solve it. And now I can solve the corner like normal. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and basically that method where you bring the corner up to the top layer with F moves, that method can be applied to your edge when you need to solve your edge. So just remember where this is supposed to be, right here. And then if you're looking for an edge and it's here, for example, all you have to do is bring it up to the top layer with an F move. And then, now it's on the top layer, turn it either that way or that way, and it'll be out of the way and not in here, in the wrong area. Because if it's here, you need to get it here. It's very difficult to get it here straight to here. So you do an F move, take it out with like a U prime or a U turn, which is here now. So it's U prime, and now put F prime to put everything back where it was. And now I solve my edge down to here like normal because these colors are matching. Now that this little complex is solved, you just solve the rest of this just like you would a normal corner in a 3x3 solution. So I'm looking for the corner right here. It's right here that I need it to go, and it's already in the right position, so I'm going to execute the algorithm. And now I'm going to look for this corner. It's all the way over here. So if it's supposed to go here, I'm going to put it up here. And I have solved the corners. Now I'm going to solve finally the last two edges. So I'm going to align it just like normal. This edge is supposed to go down here. So I could either put it here or I could put it here. This is bad because it's checkerboard, and this is good because it's lined up and it's going left. So I'm going to execute the lefty alg. And now finally the last edge. So the last edge is all the way over here. So it needs to go here. So I can put it either here or here. This is wrong because it's checkerboard, and this is good because it's lined up and matching. So it's going left, so I'm going to use the lefty algorithm again. And now you've finished S2L. So this part is probably the most complex part about Megaminx, and probably the part that throws people off the most because it's easy to mess up what you've already solved. However, with a little bit of guidance and a little bit of practice, that should be avoidable. Alright, thank you guys for watching. This video was fairly simple just to solve this last little piece right here. Yeah, if you pass here, you should be able to solve the Megaminx shortly. Okay, thank you.